Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me fine. And I see already a lot of you connected today, so thank you for your interest in today's webinar. We're very lucky to have so many of you joining us today, and I see from different parts of the world. So welcome. I'm very pleased to welcome you all to this webinar, which is the final webinar of Retail for Impact's 2025 edition. Once again, thank you very much for your interest in the achievements of our wonderful front-running coalition of retailers, brands, and partners who have demonstrated throughout the year not only a shared dedication to combating greenwashing, but also a strong determination in empowering consumers with credible information. And for that, we're very grateful for their work and for your interest today in this important topic. So I see more of you are joining. Welcome to this webinar. Our agenda is very packed for this final session because you'll hear all about what we've achieved this year. So I suggest that we start right away. And I am very happy to give the floor to the head of the One Planet Network, which has been behind this initiative, Jorge Laguna Celis. Jorge, the floor is yours. Are you able to unmute yourself, Jorge? No. I'm checking now. Would you like to reconnect maybe, Jorge? Okay, sorry about that technical issue. Let me see what I can do.
Manon, if I may, in the meantime, perhaps we can ask also participants to introduce themselves in the chat so that it will be interesting to see who is with us today, so the country where you are joining from, and also the institution or business you are representing. This will be very interesting.
Yes, thank you for this suggestion, Laetitia. So please don't hesitate to drop a line in the chat to let us know where you're from and which company or organization you're representing. So while Jorge is reconnecting, I see people are coming from Sudan, from China, from Ghana, from Argentina, India, Portugal, Brazil. We have so many people connected today from very different parts of the world. So thank you very much, South Africa, Germany. Wonderful to see so much traction and interest in this topic. And while we wait for Jorge to connect, I'd like to actually, wait, I see he's here.
Hello, friends. Am I audible now?
Wonderful. Yes, thank you, Jorge.
And well, I have to first of all say a word of excuse. My computer decided to stop reacting the mouse at least, and it was a bit frustrating not being able to unmute myself. But I just want to say, as this a little bit of a forced interruption interrupted the flow of this session for which Manon and this wonderful team has been working for. That is so great and so inspiring to see all the names that are being added to the chat list. And I encourage you, as a matter of fact, each and every one of you, wherever you are, the over 50 leaders or more that are connected in this call, to please write there your name, write there your affiliation, because this is exactly what Retail for Impact is all about. I want to, first of all, wish you good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. And thank you for joining us from across the world. I see we have a microphone unmuted, I think now. And it's a true pleasure and an honor to welcome you to what it is today, a celebration of the Retail for Impact inaugural edition. When we started brainstorming around what we could do to help bring companies together to ensure that we give visibility and, as a matter of fact, action to the principles for consumer information, for transparency of consumer information of the One Planet Network, which are, as a matter of fact, one of the pillars of our work. We never thought that we would be reaching to this point, where we celebrate a front-running community of at least 7 leading retailers and brands. Today we will celebrate the achievements, we will celebrate the changes that have been happening, and also more than 30 partners worldwide who have made this journey both ambitious and inspiring. Today, as a matter of fact, it's not just simply marking the close of a program. We are celebrating a beginning of a movement. And as we celebrate this beginning of a movement that has been built with shared dedication to combat greenwashing, we want to use this session to learn, to hear from you what has worked well, what can work better, and what we can do to improve in our efforts to collectively, both as retailers, supporting organizations that have established themselves as anchored at the country, regional, and thematic levels to ensure and create a global movement that combats with data, with concrete commitments for action, and with a joint addition to the established principles of consumer information, a global movement to fight greenwashing. Because why? As a matter of fact, greenwashing is damaging our business and is damaging our relationship with our consumers and overall is damaging the environment. So we want to hear from you, what can we do better and how can we strengthen this shared conviction that retail can be a powerful force for positive change. When Retail for Impact was launched a little bit more than a year ago, the goal was clear and yet bold. Let's unite the retail sector in providing effective, trustworthy green claims to our consumers. Let's unite ourselves to accelerate the transition to a more sustainable consumption and production pathway that starts at the point of sale, the very space where everyday choices are made and that, as a matter of fact, their addition generate global impact. We have recognized across this journey that retailers and brands sit at the intersection between producers and consumers. And the learnings that we have done, particularly from a value chain approach, shows the critical importance of the retail sector in effecting change. You are, as a matter of fact, at the intersection of the circular economy agenda. And this is something that we have recognized, and with a set of global partners, we have managed to set in motion a bold initiative. And this is exactly what we have learned this year and so far. Our front-running companies that represent retails at the food, fashion, cosmetic, and that are also at the same time brand owners have led the way with courage, overcoming the greenwashing phenomena to shed light on the main sustainability attributes of their products. And in doing so, you have brought not only your consumers along, but I would say something that we are quite proud of, you have brought your staff along, making sustainable consumer information increasingly part of a DNA of a company. And only in that way we can really transform the pathway of the retail sector for more sustainable practices. We hope and we are sure that through your participation in the Retail for Impact, you as companies or as partners or as supporters of this initiative, you have not only strengthened and harmonized the way you communicate the environmental impacts of the products that you retail by aligning it with the established NYFP and UNEP's global guidelines for providing product sustainability information, but also you have shared what works and what doesn't work so that others don't have to reinvent the wheel, they can move faster. And it is in this regard that the openness and collaboration that has made a true feature of the Retail for Impact uniqueness. It is the global reach and at the same time this regionalization that I believe it's a key factor of its strength. And because with challenges we face, and in here I want to conclude, which are multiple, which have to do with, of course, biodiversity loss and sustainable consumption, and also the erosion of the ability of consumers to being able to fulfill in a decent way the needs to live the fulfilled lives are too complex for any one company to solve or country to solve alone. But by working together, and this is something that we are truly committed across sectors and disciplines, we can create a systemic change. In conclusion, to our 30 partners, experts, and supporting organizations, your contributions have been invaluable. You have helped us connect science to practice, ambition to action, and ideas to measurable outcomes. Today is also an opportunity to look forward, and I encourage you in our discussions today to think about how can we increase the number of credible products green claims in the portfolio of your own company. How can we move forward to bringing more retailers, brands, and consumers? How can we move forward in embedding sustainability as a defining feature of retail everywhere? And because what we learned in this year, it is that change is contagious. When one company leads, others are inspired to move along. So as we celebrate today, let us renew our commitment to keep building this momentum. There are a number of milestones that we are planning, in-person meetings, exciting moments that we are looking forward to celebrating at the beginning of next year, and opportunities to make this community of action ever more strong. So let me conclude this, Manon, and hand the floor back to you, thanking you for your personal work. And I'm sure that each and everyone in this call has been touched by your positive and contagious engagement. And we look forward to the continuation of this session. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Jorge, for this excellent introduction. And I'm very glad that we managed to overcome the technical challenges. And I see many more of you have joined, so welcome to this webinar. And I will directly dive into today's agenda. So we'll first share a few words on what Retail for Impact is, what its objectives are, and in which context it operates, specifically for those who are not yet familiar with the initiative. We'll then present the collective impact that Jorge mentioned that we've achieved alongside our front-running coalition of retailers, of brands, of partners, and you'll hear directly from them and their testimonials. Before presenting the plans for the years to come and zooming particularly in 2026 and indicating you how you can get involved. So I hope all is clear. If not, please feel free to write any of your questions directly in the chat. We'll do our best to answer as many questions as we can before the end of the webinar. And otherwise, be rest assured that we'll answer all the questions in the follow-up email. Now, to dive directly into the first part of this session, I would like to give the floor to you, Leticia Montero, who's our head of the One Planet Network's Consumer Information Program. And Leticia will give us an overview of what Retail for Impact is and in which context it was set up. So Leticia, over to you.
Thank you, Manon. Thank you very much. It's great to see that so many of you are joining today. So I would like first to share a little bit with you about the context of how Retail4Impact was born. And I see that there are three important global trends related to Retail4Impact. The first one is about consumer willingness to consume in a more sustainable way and healthier way. And there is a survey that was done globally, and 90% of respondents say that they indeed wanted to consume in a more sustainable and healthier way. So this is a clear trend, and businesses have understood this necessity to adapt. And here we see that there are two different aspects. First, consumers consume products for which they have access to sustainable information. And also here there are some clear numbers saying that products that are sustainability marketed grew twice as fast as similar products without the sustainability marketed aspects in the last 5 years. So quite striking. So one aspect is that consumers consume those products with the information, but also we see a trend in what consumers consume with a shift towards more sustainability, sustainable products. And for example, the market revenue of plant-based meat has been also is expected to grow 3 times from in between 2018 and 2028. So this is quite striking. And perhaps, Manu, if you go back to the previous slide on the legal framework, this is also really massive. There is an important shift globally with a strengthening of the legal framework to prevent greenwashing. Many legislation, consumer protection acts, it's everywhere, and also with guidelines developed for businesses to better inform consumers. So businesses and retailers are acting, and we are here as UNEP to support this transition with Retail4Impact. So what do we want to do here? I think we're looking at two clear and equally important aspects. One, we want to support businesses into improving the way they inform consumers to be better prepared. But we also want to empower consumers by accessing this information. And here, what is really important for you to see is that we are linking what is happening on the ground in the retail shop when consumers are selecting their products, and also global commitment. We have the SDG, the Sustainable Development Goals, with SDG 12, looking at sustainable consumption and production. But we have also other multi-environmental agreements. For example, one on biodiversity, and I saw that someone was specifically looking into, someone that said hi in the chat, looking at this topic, how to better inform consumers about the biodiversity impact. This is one target of the global biodiversity framework. So again, Retail4Impact is here to support this transition. So how are we doing this? We're building on the guidelines for providing product sustainability information that was developed in 2017. This guidelines was developed in a multi-stakeholder, based on a multi-stakeholder process. It was tested by many companies, and thanks Manon for sharing, presenting our principles here in the guidelines. So it has been tested by many companies, and also what is interesting, it is that it has been used by governments to develop their national guidelines. So this is to say that this framework is recognized as an interesting, let's say, standard on how to provide product sustainability information. So in 2025, what have we been doing? First, we have been supporting businesses into better understanding the guidelines that you see here. This is objective 1, and learn. We have also been supporting businesses into assessing their current green claims. And finally, business have been taking action and have been improving the way they communicate to the consumers. So here I want to acknowledge the important achievements of all the retailers that have been working with us. We have 7 companies that have been clearly improving the way they inform consumers over the past 8 months. And I think this is a good transition, and I hand it back over to you, Manon, to follow up and to introduce the great achievements that businesses have been achieving in the past months. Thank you.
Thank you, Laetitia, for wonderfully setting the context of this initiative. Some of you already know about it, of course, but at least for the newcomers, it's a great introduction. Now, I wanted to show you a video to kickstart the next part of this webinar, and I hope it will work. We will not have any technical challenge. Actually, and this will give you a first glimpse of the work that we've accomplished this year before we dive further into each of the testimonials. So let me play it now.
I want you to imagine a world where every consumer has the power to make a truly informed choice, not on price or in the brand, but on its impact. Imagine a world where the journey of a product from its raw materials to the shelf is completely transparent and accessible. Let me tell you that this is not just a vision for a more sustainable future. It is in fact the new reality of retail. Consumers and regulators are today demanding more than just promises and claims. They want to see and to have access to data that is also safe and credible. Data, in fact, that can be trusted. Data that empowers consumers to make informed choices. The marketplace is shifting, and we are seeing it day to day, and businesses that fail to adapt will be left behind. This is why here at the United Nations Environment Programme and its hosted One Planet Network, we decided to create Retail4Impact. This initiative, which is convened by the Consumer Information Programme of our One Planet Network, is building a global community of practice of retailers and brand producers that want to lead by example in preventing greenwashing practices. By how? Providing a common language on product sustainability information, and by turning transparency from a challenge into, in fact, a competitive advantage. We are therefore really proud of Retail4Impact inaugural edition. Stay with us today to learn more about what we've achieved in 2025, alongside a front-running coalition of 8 leading retailers and brands and more than 30 plus NGOs, research institutes, universities, consumers associations, eco-labeling networks, retail associations, among others. These organizations have supported our front-running brands across major emerging markets.
加入联合国零售影响力 Retail4Impact 全球倡议，通过将产品的可持续性信息与全球框架和原则对齐，在销售环节传递可信赖的绿色声明，是我们试图解决这种漂绿困境的一次尝试。
At Determinant, we believe sustainability starts with transparency and accountability, so that's why we joined the Retail4Impact initiative. It aligns with our commitment to walk the talk by backing our sustainability claims with credible, evidence-based data.
加入零售影响力 R4I 倡议，是我们对全球环境保护承诺的深化与实践。零售业是连接生产与消费的关键环节，我们有责任引领更绿色、更负责任的消费模式。我们高度认同联合国环境规划署提供产品可持续性信息指南的10项原则。
We started focusing on reducing the risk of greenwashing about 2 years ago. Since then, we've been training our team internally within the company to raise awareness and also to make sure that our sustainability claims are clear and credible. To guide us, we've developed our internal guidelines based on UNEP's guidelines for providing product sustainability information. And we've also joined the Retail4Impact initiative to strengthen our knowledge and identify any gaps in our practices.
Well, I see Retail4Impact as a strategic tool for transformation. For Suzano, Retail4Impact has made it easier for us to bring sustainability into our product communication. As part of the value chain, we know it's our responsibility to clearly communicate our products' green claims and be part of this, helping us to make marketing, innovation, and sustainability work more closely.
In 2025, we held collaborative sessions with companies and associations from Brazil, as well from China, Russia, and other countries from Europe, demonstrating that the debate on combating greenwashing and social washing is complex. I would like to express my gratitude for the invitation from OPN and emphasize how this exchange of experiences has enriched our vision for the future of food systems. Although there is still much to build, I feel we are on the right track. I hope for the continuous expansion of this cooperation spirit. We really believe that together we can go further.
So, I think as you'll have understood by now, we worked closely and hand in hand with leading retailers and brands in this inaugural edition to work with them to strengthen some of their products' green claims. So you've heard in the video of some of them, be it large retail chains or brands like X5 or Ole Supermarket, from large fashion companies like Bosideng or Determinant, but also from leading food or cosmetic producers like Nestlé Brazil or Beesline, and the world's largest pulp and paper manufacturer, Suzano. So you see that we've worked across different sectors, different company sizes, but also different markets across China, Brazil, the Russian Federation, and the Middle East. And we're very lucky to have had a wonderful network of more than 30 partners supporting these 7 companies. These partners all have extensive expertise and experience on product sustainability, on consumer information, particularly as it relates to greenwashing practices. And you'll also hear directly from some of them later in the session. So just to present in a nutshell what we've done this year, we've conducted 10 capacity building workshops on various topics with the objective of enabling this front-running coalition to learn and strengthening their capacities on different elements. We started by diving into some regulatory frameworks that are in place to combat and prevent greenwashing practices, particularly across our markets of interest, so Brazil, China, and the Russian Federation. But we also identified and shared concrete examples of disclosure mechanisms on the climate, biodiversity, and pollution impacts of food, cosmetics, and fashion products, which were our scope of reference for this first edition. And we also importantly looked at the consumer behavior trends that Laetitia started touching upon when it comes to sustainable consumption and the growing expectations from consumers when it comes to product sustainability. In parallel of these workshops, companies took part in working group sessions within their national task forces, which were groups of companies and partners that operate in the same country, as you see here in the slide, to analyze concretely their selected product green claim in line with our guiding resource, which was the UNEP, which is the UNEP guidelines methodology and 10 principles. So as a result, it led them to publish concrete case studies on their claims, also by leveraging the more than 100 resources that were shared with the community and tailored to their sectors and their product categories. And you'll see in the chat, we'll publish the link with these different publications and also more concrete mini video testimonials where you'll hear from them about the value and the learnings from this year's initiative. Now, before giving the floor to the companies so you can hear directly from them and the claims they worked on, I would like to just take a moment to acknowledge and personally thank the partners that you see here on the slide, who allocated so much time, so much energy to coordinate these national task forces, to provide support to the companies when building their case studies, also to share expertise in the workshops that we conducted, and to share additional tools and resources that were relevant to the community and that were coming from their work. So a big, big thank you for your contributions to this edition. Certainly the initiative would not have been so successful without your excellent support and ideas. Oops, sorry. Now, let me give the floor to Determinants to present the claim that they've worked on. And I think, Stephanie, I'm giving you the floor. Or Yisong, I'm not sure.
Hi, Manon. Thank you. Thank you. And can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Oh, nice. I'm Asta. And hi, everyone. I'm Yi Song from Determinant menswear brand. And the product category we selected to work on is that this initiative is cotton waterless dye products. And our green claim is Determinant cotton waterless dyeing technology saves 40 liters of water per shirt. I would like to explain the principle one reliability for the whole case study. For this principle, it highlights the claim must be accurate and it must be based on generally accepted methodology in the relevant scientific field. So the claim is backed by SGS verification, which certified water savings of 40 liters per shirt in dyeing process and 100% soap savings and near zero water wastewater discharge. And these results are based on the data provided EcoHills and our suppliers and validate through the third-party testing. The product is also certified by OTO test standard 100, ensuring our consumers' safety. And also, this data is based on the water consumption of the dark blue men's dress shirt. Actual water saving rates vary based on the styles and color. So the sources of the information and data must be trustworthy. And actually, we've been weak in driving consumer behavior change and delivering the long-term impact through learning the NEP principle this time. We now recognize that we need to strengthen our efforts in this area. So we have also placed our green claims permanently at store counters and our product racks, hoping this approach will create a lasting impact on consumers. For 2026, Determinant would like to join Retail4Impact as a member continuously working with the UNEP and OPN. Hope more and more brands can join us in this initiative and make credible green claims. Thank you.
Thank you, Yisong, for sharing this experience with us. And I would now like to give the floor to Rola to speak about Beesline's work.
Hello. Hello, everyone. I'm Rola Masriye, the Cosmetic Science and Safety Manager at Beesline. We were very happy to participate in this program. So the Beesline is located in Lebanon, and we are our vision is to become a global innovator of conscious cosmetics, which means safe for people and the planet. That's why we developed this kit. It is a refill product. The product is a facial wash, comes in a powder format, and you buy it with its bottle once, and later on you only buy the powder and you mix it with water at your home. So this was our product, and our claim was CO2 emissions reduction. When we created this product, we thought of CO2 emissions reduction at the level of the whole life cycle, from sourcing of raw material till the end of life. So we want the consumers not to dispose plastic bottles and to use refills mostly. And we also reduced the CO2 emissions during transportation, because we are transporting powders rather than liquids. So this that's how we designed this product and this claim. The principle that I want to focus on most is driving behavioral change. We want to create a community and consumers to shift from using every time they want to use a shampoo or a facial wash, to shift into refills, and this is part of our campaign. The campaign would be on social media. We will shoot videos, awareness on how reducing waste is good, and these products are as effective as any conventional facial wash. It is studied, and we have performance studies. So we want consumers to shift from buying every time a plastic bottle for their facial wash to buy powder and mix it at home. So this they are getting the efficacy, they are getting everything, but with less plastic. So this is it mainly.
And with a reduced footprint. So thank you so much, Rola, for sharing this.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Now I would like to give the floor to Chen Hao from Bosideng to present also the work they've done with us.
Sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Hattie Chen, head of the board office and general manager of the capital markets and ESG at Boston from China. So it's really a great pleasure to be here and to share Boston's journey in Retail4Impact initiative. So today I'd like to share with you about one product, the claim related to that featured product, an important principle that we applied, and how together we are helping us making sustainability both credible and clear for customers. First, the product. We selected a children's down jacket made with Sorana-based bio-based material, and this product is backed by a third-party life cycle assessment, which is short in LCA, certified against ISO 14040 and GB 4040 standards. Second, the claim. On the product hang tag, we clearly state that by replacing traditionally long with a Sorana material, it reduces petroleum dependence while cutting greenhouse gas emission by 59% compared to conventionally long production for equivalent volumes. So this claim is showing alongside the certified carbon footprint, 11.63 kilogram CO2 equivalent, and a logo from the authorized certification organization. So customers can see at a glance that we're being transparent and accountable. Third, the principle. Among the UNEP guidelines, we want to highlight principle 1, reliability. Our claim is supported by a national level LCA certification conducted by the China Textile Information Center and United Testing Service Beijing Core Limited. And the end-to-end assessment from raw material to finished goods means every figure and statements can be tested, verified, and trusted. So now, what did we learn by applying UNEP guideline, and how did it change the way that we communicate? First, focus on what matters most. So through life cycle thinking and hot pot analysis, we centered our efforts on the most material issue for the products, carbon emission in material sourcing and manufacturing. Second, be concentrate, not vague. We shifted from general terms to specific comparable data, like 59% greenhouse gas reduction claim and 11.63 kilogram CO2 equivalent footprint. So customers are not left guessing. Third, earn trust through validation and disclosure. So we strengthened third parties verification and improved multi-channel transparency, making sure the same evidence-based story appearing on the hand tag in our digital channel and in our reporting. So in short, the UNEP guideline helped Boston move from good intention to measurable, verifiable sustainability actions. So this is actually integrate sustainability into mainstream product design, not treating it as a side product. So the image that you see, so actually showing our product hand tag, it clearly displays the carbon footprint and certification logos, and helping customers easily understand the environment's benefits and making more informed choice in a second. So this is definitely not the only case for Boston for sure. As the DTC model company, we have tens of thousands of the interactions with our customers on our daily life basis. So we are also initiated other responsible outdoor activities with the interactions and engagements with our customers, such as leave no trace outdoor mountain cleaning activity, remake and downcycling member workshops, and water resource protection outdoor activities. So looking ahead, we are not stopping here. We are very proud to announce that Boston will continue our Retail4Impact membership, not only this year, but also next year and going forward. And we want to expanding LCA assessment to more products and categories and advancing credible, transparent sustainability communication for our customers worldwide. So thank you for your time. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Hao Chen. Thank you so much. And great news that Bosi Deng is officially joining us for the next coming years.
Thank you.
Now over to Danielle from Nestle Brazil, please.
Our commitment to Nestlé Cocoa Plan is directly related to the production of chocolates and cocoa-derived products, aiming to improve the quality of life for cocoa farmers and ensure a responsible supply chain. The hotspots in defining our claim include the use of pests and waste management in cocoa production. These hotspots were identified through audits and impact assessments conducted in partnership with NGOs and industry experts. The sustainability claim is incorporated into Nestlé values, reflecting our commitment to ethical and sustainable practices across the organization. This commitment is evident in our market campaigns and communication with consumers. Principal relevance, the hotspot. The claim is accessible during the research of purchasing options and the point of sale through labels and market materials. The Nestlé Cocoa Plan aims to not only to improve cocoa production, but also to promote a change in behavior among farmers regarding agriculture practices and consumer regarding 2.7 million of followers. Thank you, Manon.
Thank you, Danielle. Thank you very much. And you can find the case study that Danielle started touching upon also in the chat, and we'll share with you the presentation where you'll have the access to the link. So now turning to Paulina from X5 to share your experience within the initiative.
Thank you, Manon. Hello, everyone. I would like to remind that I'm presenting X5, the biggest retailer in Russia, and myself, I am ESG manager in the company. And initially, we joined the Retail4Impact initiative with the Green Claim project for the product line. Unfortunately, we couldn't finalize it due to operational reasons, but at the same time, taking part in webinars and meetings with the Retail4Impact community provided plenty of insights for us. Such instruments like the self-assessment tool and others by the United Nations for green claims were very helpful because we could see gaps and opportunities that hadn't paid attention to before, which we will use with eco-labeling projects and other projects in the future for sure. Plus, it was also a pleasure for us to share the X5 experience during the year with a newly realized sustainable supply chain project, the difficulties and advantages that we faced on the way communicating with suppliers and customers as well, which I hope that was helpful for colleagues as well. I'm glad to meet all of you today, like people from different countries, and see your results presented today. And thank you again for this opportunity. Thank you, Maron, for supporting this this journey, and I hope that we're gonna keep our partnership in the future as well. Yeah, I'm very happy for everyone today. Thank you.
Thanks, Paulina. We were very happy to have you on board this year, and we hope we'll continue collaborating for sure. Now we're running a bit out of time, or over time at least, but Ole Supermarket and Susano were not able to attend today's meeting, so they asked me to share their experience and work within Retail4Impact. So let me just present in a few minutes the work that Ole Supermarket did. So they selected an organic red dates product, and the claim that they analyzed states that the product has obtained 4 different organic certifications across China, the European Union, the United States, and Japan. The claim is indicated at the back of the packaging, displaying the organic certification logos of these 4 countries, but there's also at the front of the packaging a traceability code for consumers to access China's organic certification details. What we think is very interesting about this case study is that the claim actually covers one of the primary contributors of the product's environmental impacts, which is the cultivation stage, and that the organic certification standards specifically address key factors of this impact, of these impacts of the value chain around the prohibition of pesticides or growth hormones, and also a sustainable soil management. And actually a claim which emphasizes 0 pesticide residue in the organic cultivation process is not common in the retail stores because this is something that we've witnessed, and it actually encourages consumers to focus on products that are beneficial to their health and to soil health. So you'll also see in their detailed case study that they actually touch upon broader commitments towards sustainability, not only sustainable products, but also consumer well-being. So I invite you to go and discover their case study. Now for Susano, they didn't publish a case study, but they, as you've heard in the video, wanted to share this experience that they took from Retail4Impact and from their engagement this year, that they've seen Retail4Impact as a strategic tool for transformation. and that this year of work with us has contributed to help them integrate sustainability into product communications and further reinforce the collaborations between different departments internally, so marketing, innovation, and sustainability. Now, mindful of time, I would like to give the floor to several of our key partners. So moving from these companies' testimonials to our partners' actions this year, because they did undertake many impactful actions. So Dan, you're connected from Australia. It's already very late where you are. So if you would like to go first, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Manon. Hi, all. So Dan Wilcock here from the UN Global Compact at Network Australia, joining from Lutruwita, Tasmania, the very, very south of Australia. So some of you will be familiar with the Global Compact's work. Essentially, we work with the business community, helping them align with the UN Global Compact's 10 principles in human rights, labour, environment, and anti-corruption, and to take supporting actions to advance the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. So as was alluded to earlier, greenwashing has been a top enforcement priority for Australia's consumer and financial regulators in recent years. In fact, our financial regulator just announced another 2 cases resolved today in this space. So a couple of years ago, responding to strong demand from Australian businesses, we developed a facilitated anti-greenwashing training program. We've had hundreds of business professionals go through that program from many different sectors, and our next group starts shortly. But based on some of the feedback from that original Australian course, this year we developed a global version of the training. So that international course includes content now from more than 20 jurisdictions around the world and growing. And the content explores each of the 10 fundamental and aspirational principles under the UNEP guidelines. And those principles are brought to life with case studies and examples. The course is fully on demand, so learners anywhere in the world can complete it at their own pace. And time of your choice. But we recently launched this course through a range of global compact country networks, and it's now fully available for registrations. So we're pretty excited about that. Going forward, I mean, we're really going to continue to spread the word alongside the Retail4Impact partners. We'll keep offering this training internationally to really supporting businesses to develop credible ESG narratives and empowering businesses to tell their stories to the world confidently. We need to see a lot more of that. So congrats to all those we've just heard from who are doing it. So we'll continue to add content for new jurisdictions and work to stay on top of the rapid evolution in the regulatory space in this area. So we look forward to being a part of this global movement with all of you. Thanks, Manon.
Thanks, Dan. Thank you so much for sharing these. Now moving on to Fiona. Fiona, you're next. Or is it Muli who's connected? I'm not sure.
I didn't turn on the microphone. Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfectly.
I'll do the presentation. So hello, everybody. We are Xingtao, a Chinese consulting firm focusing on CSR and sustainability. So this year, we are very happy to be the supporter of the UNEP Retail4Impact initiative. Our main work is to provide consulting services for companies, especially leading companies in China in retail and consumer goods sectors, but also some global brands, the Chinese branch of the global brands. So that's why we are very happy to support this initiative by introducing some very leading brands to join this initiative. But also we have very good relationships with some local NGOs and government organgos. For example, CCFA this year, another supporter of the initiative. So we just use our network to support this program. The main result of this year is we did some promotion of the program by like online network or online newsletter or some offline workshops or presentations. And also we give some support to the Chinese companies to help them follow the requirements of the 10 principles or other regular works. So the main impact of this year from the perspective of the UNEP side, we introduced some very leading companies to join this initiative, and also we from the company side, we just have them very smoothly to pass the whole year initiative and finally got the very good results. So I also want to mention some future plan, what we are going to do next step. We are going to maybe held a webinar or seminar next month to maybe find more potential participants for the next year. And also, actually, we already reached out for some companies who are interested in for the next year's initiative, and we are hoping that they can join us for the next year. Also, we are going to make the 10 principles into the China Sustainable Consumption Report 2025. We have already made the report for 9 years, and this year will be the 10th edition. So that's quite related to our program, and this report has a very good influence within the industry in China. So we hope we can promote our program in a better in more channels and have a better understanding. So that's all for the introduction of our work. Thank you.
Thank you, Muli. Thank you very much. And you have been with Sintao very involved in coordinating the national task force in China, as you said, alongside CCFA. And I now invite Grace from the China Chain Store and Franchise Association to share also the work that you've done with us.
Okay, thank you, Manon. And everyone, it's nice to see all you again. I'm Grace from China Chain Store and Franchise Association. We are a national industry organization representing over 1,600 retail and food service companies across China. In 2025, CCFA actively supported the Retail4Impact initiative as part of the Chinese task force. We mobilized our member companies through the Sustainable Consumption Promotion Committee, which comprising 30 core members and 10 observers to join and get to know the initiative. And we encourage them to share their case study, helping showcase practical applications of the UNEP guidelines in China's retail and other food service context. Second, we co-developed and localized Retail4Impact online workshops and began designing an open online course titled How to Communicate Product Sustainability to Your Customer. And this is what we're doing right now. Third, we amplified the initiative's visibility through CCFA's offline events. We also shared the UNEP's guidelines and the Retail4Impact resources through our WeChat channel, newsletter, and internal trainings. Looking ahead to 2026, CCFA will continue to work with UNEP and OPN to expand the Retail4Impact community in China, integrate the guidelines into our industrial training, and engage more companies in building transparent and trustworthy product sustainability information. That's all about the CCFA's part. Thank you all.
Thank you, Grace. And sorry to move quite quickly across these different slides, but I see time is running. So I will invite Bruno from Brazil to join us.
Hi everyone, nice to meet you. I'm Bruno, environmental engineer and content specialist at ACA2 Institute, a Brazilian nonprofit organization that promotes conscious consumption and sustainable lifestyles by raising awareness, advising businesses, educating society, influencing public policy, and engaging media networks. And throughout the year, and one of the key activities that we led, Akatsu took part in numerous events with a national outreach and reaching audience of thousands of people. And we also fostered the dialogue on these events on how to improve the communication of sustainability attributes, presenting the initiative and the guidelines. Those events, they cover a wide range of audiences and sectors, and we're talking here about the agribusiness, environmental labeling, small and medium-sized enterprises, government affairs, and many more. And we also have been discussing the initiatives and the guidelines throughout a series of meetings with potential partners. We've done it quite a few meetings during this year, and we are planning to continue them. And those prospective partners, they operate in a wide market reach and in key sectors such as fashion and apparel, paints, coatings, hygiene and cleaning products, food, pharmaceutical. And they represent a unique opportunity to scale the impact and promote a culture of sustainability across those industries. And besides those key activities, also to still continue to the dialogue in working groups, national working groups, seeking to strengthen those networks and also engaging different actors and sectors to amplify both outreach and potential of the communication of sustainability attributes. And based on that, we are delighted to continue our support next year and be part of the initiative with other partners and companies too. So thanks again, Manon, for the opportunity to engage in this initiative this year.
And thanks to you, Bruno, and the team at Akatu for all your actions and for helping amplify Retail for Impact's learnings. Now over to Sonia from Rede ACV, also in Brazil.
Yes, Manon, and for the sake of time management, I will be very quick in my explanation. Very brief. Thank you. I was thinking in Portuguese. Sorry. Well, I already shared in the chat our site. So if you're interested in knowing more about Rede ACV, it will be a pleasure to welcome you. I'm very happy to hear that many colleagues here who attended the program this year already are familiar with life cycle thinking, life cycle assessment as ways to have a better decision-making process oriented to sustainability. And as we heard in the beginning, it's very important to have the whole an integrated view of our responsibility along the value chain. So it's an association. We have some 60 associates from various segments and B2B, B2C, Brazilian companies, and also multinationals who have in Brazil a very important branch. Now, due to COP30, of course, we are all very interested in knowing how to support the outcomes of what will be discussed there in the coming weeks. But during this year, we were very happy to support this initiative through our labeling working group, mentioning it very often in our meetings and also in events and also in capacity buildings we promoted in labeling and also in circular economy. So we are really looking forward to supporting this initiative next year and beyond. Thank you, Manon.
Thank you so much for your support, Sonia, as well. And if you can all stick to 1 minute, as Sonia just did, that would be amazing. We still have 3 testimonials from partners to go. And I invite Ksenia from Russia, sorry, to join and to share experience. Xenia, are you here? While you manage to get your audio to work, can I invite Olga from H Support to also present their work with us this year?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Manon. We are very happy to be here. I'm a co-director of Health and Environment Justice Support. It is an international non-governmental organization focusing primarily on achieving transparency and traceability of chemical content information in products. And we are part of various initiatives and networks, including the German Partnership for Sustainable Textiles and the UNEC initiative on transparency for sustainable and circular garments and footwear, and many others, where we promote tools and frameworks like the UNEP guidelines for providing product sustainability information and the UNEC guidelines for digital product passports and UNEP Global Digital Product Information System to ensure sustainability product information is accurate, accessible, and trustworthy throughout the product life cycle. So we participated in drafting and promoting the guidelines for providing product sustainability information, and also became part of the Retail4Impact initiative, where we prepare and share information on the importance of enhancing retailers and brands' capacity to manage and communicate product sustainability, prioritizing reliable claims about product chemicals to help companies move beyond mere greenwashing and build consumer trust. So a couple of years ago, we analyzed the provision of product sustainability information, including on chemicals, from various textile and fashion brands using the guidelines for providing product sustainability information. And that was the first time when the guidelines were used as an analytical tool for an entire industry sector, which was fashion. So we are now updating this report and hope to see more reliable claims about the chemicals in products that textile and fashion brands are starting to use. So we are planning to reach out to various fashion brands, including members of the Retail4Impact initiative, and share this report next year. So this is what we are planning to do. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you, Olga. And I now invite Susan from Greenix, who's joining us from Nigeria, Kenya, sorry, to take the floor if you're here.
Thank you, Manon. Hello, everyone. As you've heard, I'm Susan. I work at Greenix Consultancy. We are headquartered in Nairobi. I lead our work with global stakeholders to help companies turn sustainable practice into brand value. So we focus on strategic communications, training, and partnerships to ensure the environmental story drives long-term brand equity. And I'll quickly jump into our main two focused activities that we participated in the previous term of the initiative, where strategic partnerships and communications delivered measurable results. So first, in resource dissemination and capacity building, we are pioneering a new industry academia pathway. A key example is our work with Middlesex University, where in Dubai, where we successfully delivered a guest webinar lecture that presented the UNEP PSI guidelines, along with the Retail4Impact initiatives workshops module and case studies to 70 postgraduate marketing students. So we are now building on this to establish a formal industry academia partnership designed to bridge the gap between theoretical knowledge and the practical sustainability skills that businesses urgently need. And second, our expertise in multi-channel communication was showcased through a targeted joint social media campaign. So together with the Retail4Impact from Front Learning Coalition and the One Planet Network, we executed a coordinated LinkedIn campaign launching in July to maximize impact. We then deployed a separate targeted post for Global Eco-Labeling Day itself, emphasizing credible eco-labels as a key driver for the Retail4Impact initiative. So this collective impact was substantial. We achieved a 1% 26% organic growth in our LinkedIn audience, growing from 2,886 to over 7,500 followers, which dramatically amplified the reach of our shared sustainability message. So this synergy is powerful, as we're not only helping to shape the future-ready talent through strategic academia partnerships, but also driving immediate scale market engagement through sustained high-impact coalition campaigns. This dual approach proves that collaborative environmental communication is a critical investment, building both a skilled pipeline and tangible brand equity simultaneously. So looking ahead, Greenix Consultancy is fully committed to the Retail for Impact initiative next year. We're eager to collaborate with members to ensure a seamless, conscious consumption journey for their customers, which automatically will grow their brand equity through our expert services in strategic branding, multi-channel communications, and capacity building. Thank you so much, Manon, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you very much. And now giving the floor back to Ksenia, who I see has managed to connect. And I hope we can now hear you, Ksenia. There still seems to be an issue with your mic, unfortunately. Sorry, Ksenia, I think we'll need to move on, but just to share a few words on how much Ecological Union's team, including Ksenia and Julia, supported us this year. They coordinated also one of the national task forces, providing a lot of support to X5 particularly, who also operates in Russia. They presented the Retail for Impact initiative and some of our guidelines and resources to a big retail audience, because they have a big network of retailers, but also food brands that operate in Russia. They took part in several events, including the Green Retail Week conference, where they highlighted also very interesting and impactful sustainable product sustainability initiatives to different retail members. So you'll learn more by taking time to read through this slide, but I really invite you to dive into their work as well. I'm sorry, Ksenia, that you couldn't present yourself. Now that you've heard from this incredible front-running community and their achievements and support in 2025, I would like to present you the plans for the years to come and specifically for 2026. So for all of us to be on the same page, Retail for Impact is built, as you must have understood by now, but around collective learning and collaboration, connecting members with international peers, international experts, with the objective of strengthening capacities on product sustainability information. The initiative also creates global networking and advocacy opportunities to help members expand the reach and the visibility of their product sustainability actions through engagement with leading retailers, brands, and leading organizations worldwide through dedicated events. And this one is a good demonstration of this already. But also through national and regional task forces, we ensure that members can adapt what they learn on this and this global knowledge to their own local and national contexts. Retail for Impact also provides international visibility under the UN umbrella, giving members the possibility to attend UNEP events broader than Retail for Impact events on related topics, of course, like circularity measurements. We're also working a lot on digital product information systems, on sustainable food systems, textiles. So you'll get also to attend all of these different opportunities. Members finally gain access to a global resource hub. As I shared earlier in the session, we have a repository of case studies, reports, knowledge pieces on product sustainability. And you'll also be featured in our Retail Sustainability Claims Barometer, which aims to showcase the collective progress of this community toward credible and transparent sustainability claims across the world. So I hope these pillars convince you that Retail for Impact is a unique action-oriented initiative that drives change in the global retail landscape. And we truly invite you to join the movements that this front-running coalition has started. Now, let's look at the overall Retail for Impact journey, which is our foreseen 3-year plan designed to help retailers evolve step by step towards this credible, transformative sustainability. In year 1, members begin by strengthening a single product's green claim, as you've heard today, and training a few employees on the UNEP guidelines, which sets, in our view, the foundation for understanding and applying the global framework of the guidelines and tackling this greenwashing phenomenon that Jorge mentioned in the beginning. In year 2, the objective is to expand this knowledge across the organization from building a product sustainability baseline to actually delivering on a full sustainability roadmap, which embeds these learnings and practices throughout the company. And in year 3, the objective is for members to move from simply informing consumers about sustainability to actively shaping consumer behavior towards more sustainable choices. So not just transforming products, but actually driving market change for sustainable consumption. And along the way, you see here at the bottom of the slide that we offer also tailored services to support every stage of this journey, tailored to your different needs, which could be expanding portfolios around sustainable products, but also developing internal guidelines on green claims, for example. Now, diving into the foreseen 2026 detailed program of work, you see here that this slide illustrates a 7-month journey that we designed to transform our members' product disclosure capabilities. So we would begin next year in March by walking you through the emerging legal landscape which regulates greenwashing practices and introduce the UNEP guidelines for those who are not familiar with its detailed principles so that you can understand how to mitigate the risk of misleading consumers. The program would then accelerate into deep technical modules, which would run from April to June and would focus on assessing and communicating your product impacts related to climate, nature, and pollution across your value chains. So that would be the first half of the year, and the second half of the year would pivot more towards implementation, focusing on both the identification of credible eco-labels and certification schemes to help you increase the reliability of your green claims. This was mentioned by a few member companies earlier in the webinar. And to provide you with the necessary tools and narrative as well to secure internal buy-in across relevant teams in your companies, from marketing to sustainability to operations and supply chain. And you see that a final component that will be cross-cutting throughout these different workshops is the important topic of consumer behavior, ensuring that every strategic action translates into tangible information that actually informs the consumer and its choice towards sustainable products. Now, in terms of key benefits that this program of work will bring to companies like yours, I'd like to emphasize that Retail for Impact is structured to deliver both external market insights on product sustainability information through our community of partners and our own UNEP and OPN research, but also to help you work on measurable internal transformation. So concretely, you see here that throughout the workshops that were presented just above, we will provide your organization with the necessary external insights and intelligence that are required to mitigate the greenwashing risks, but also, as Laetitia was mentioning earlier, to counter consumers' increased distrust towards brands' communications. So the idea is to provide you with these different outputs that you see here on the slide, and to work concretely on your internal transformation through these concrete deliverables that have the objective of enhancing your internal skills on product sustainability. So we'll work together on a baseline assessment of your green claims, on food or textiles products, and we'll jointly work on a more longer term roadmap on how you can formalize and accelerate this product communication strategy. And along the way, we'll train and help you, at least either we will train or help you train internally different focal points within the company on the UNEP guidelines. All this stands for year one, the slide you saw before and this one, and will be adapted for the companies like Determinant and Bostideng, who already took part this year and who have decided to continue their membership with us so that it best supports the rest of this journey. Now, Jorge started touching upon this in his welcoming remarks, but we plan to officially launch the 2026 edition and welcome new members and partners in the community of practice in February next year in 2 in-person events. The first one will be happening here in UNEP Paris on February 2nd, and we would like to use this event to collectively refine and validate the work plan together, and of course for the community to meet and get together in person. And this event will be hosted back-to-back to the Sustainable Retail Summit of the Consumer Goods Forum, where we're lucky to have a panel discussion on Retail for Impact to present the 2025 achievements that you've heard of today and announce the plans for 2026. Now, if you're a retailer joining today or listening in the recording, a food producer or textile brand who would like to join Retail for Impact and be part of our international community of practice, it's wonderful. Please note that the requirements to participate are very simple, and you'll find them in detail on Retail for Impact's page. But in a nutshell, what's to remember is to nominate at least 2 focal points from different teams, to complete a short online training, which is the Green Marketing Challenge, where you'll learn all about the 10 guiding principles, and to commit to strengthening your product sustainability claims using the UNEP guidelines. So if you have any questions after the webinar on these requirements, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to answer your questions. Also important to note is that we're introducing membership fees from next year onwards, because it's important that we start self-sustaining this initiative in time. These fees will only apply to member companies, not to partners, and you can count on the fact that these contributions will directly support the coordination of the initiative, the communications, the partner collaborations, and some of the in-person events that hopefully you'll be a part of. If you are a retail or consumer association, a business network, a certification scheme or eco-label, an NGO or consultancy, and you also wish to join this movement and help us accelerate the uptake of the guidelines or share Retail for Impact's learnings, that's also great. And make sure that you also read through these partner requirements in detail. But in short, the main criteria are to get your support in encouraging your businesses and your network to join the Retail for Impact initiative, to take the Green Marketing Challenge, and to co-design dedicated actions in 2026 that we can deliver to accelerate the initiative's mission and objectives. Now, I'm very glad to already announce that we have new partners joining us next year, which operate, as you see here, across different regions. The China Association for Standardization, CAS, and its Sustainable Business and Brands Working Committee, SBBC, will become the 3rd strategic partner of the Chinese task force. So we're very, very glad to have you on board. And I think you're saying hi and sharing your screen. So thank you for joining this meeting. We also have Alayab, which is an industry association which brings together the food and beverage industry across Latin America and the Caribbean. We have the European Sustainable Food Coalition, who also operates in the food and beverage industry in Europe, and ARSO, which operates in the certification field across Africa. Now, if you're interested in joining us in this journey, make sure that you meet the requirements of the initiative and that you read through them in detail. And I invite you to express interest by scanning the QR code that you see here on the slide, which will lead you to an online survey that is less than a minute to complete, that sits at the end of the webpage. And then we'll be sending you all the documentation pack for you to complete and return. And we'll assess internally your membership. And once it's approved, you'll be notified by email, and we'll be very, very pleased to welcome you officially in Retail for Impact. So I hope this part answered all the questions I had seen in the chat before starting. We're slightly over time. I think we'll overrun by 5 minutes. So before giving the floor to Alison Gray-Cairns, which is UNEP's head of the private sector unit, I would just like to share with you a short final video, and I really hope that you will like it. So let me share my screen again.
हमारे साथ जुड़ें, 加入我们 Únanse a nosotros, rejoignez-nous, machen Sie mit, ungana nasi.
Join us.
So this was a very, very short video, but we believe it's quite self-explanatory. Now, to finish this wonderful session, I would like to invite you, Alison, to take the floor and to share with us your closing remarks. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Manon. And yes, so I'm Alison Cairns. I lead the private sector unit here for UNEP. So across UNEP, working with different sort of sector teams, and I'm based in Nairobi. So I mean, it's been really great for me to listen to the last hour and a half and hearing from a lot of the front running companies here about what they're doing in concrete terms around sustainability. So it's great to be able to have a few reflections for this inaugural edition, if you like, of the Retail for Impact. And I think what is very clear on this journey for Retail for Impact, it's very much the beginning of this journey, and I think it's got real promise and the real opportunity to scale up for a number of different reasons. One, because it's not just about governments, it's not just about one organization or a single actor around sustainable consumption and production alone. And so we see this initiative as part of sort of broader effort, which you're having a material impact on. And we're keen to continue that working journey with you, because what's pretty central when it comes to retailers, when it comes to the brands, and the real sort of link between the production and consumption dimension, is that you are the translators of sustainability for consumers, and that's really such a key element that working with you from a perspective really brings, whether it's through your product design and thinking about how your product is designed or can be redesigned to design out plastics or whatever it happens to be, or chemicals of concern, or so on. And these the choices that you make are very visible to consumers and can really shift demand. It can shift demand, it can redefine value, and can really bring sustainability into the mainstream, which sustainability has been around for some decades now. But I think we're getting to a stage where it's becoming, that we're really edging towards that mainstream, and you are going to be really critical to making that happen. And I'm particularly impressed by the fact that it's such a diverse geographic spread here. That's what for me is particularly exciting. And I think we can accelerate if we share best practice, if we can inspire other companies to join, and please, for your peer groups that you're working with as front-running companies, get your CEOs to pick up the phone to your peers and really let's have a genuine movement in countries. That would be really great. So we have a global ambition, but we can actually have action on the ground, and that's what everyone's looking for. What's helpful about another point, what's particularly helpful about this is that it's data driven, and the consumers and regulators are demanding not promises but and claims, but actual data, and this is what this initiative working with you provides. And data can be data that's reliable, transparent and trustworthy, but also empowers consumers to make informed choices, but also allows businesses to act responsibly, to be seen to be rewarded on that basis, and to demonstrate impact. And I think certainly in this world, building trust is really quite important. Transparency builds trust. And that's something that is really vitally important. So, we're delighted to be on this journey with you. On behalf of UNEP, I want to congratulate the 7 front-running companies, and it was great to hear your stories. And to 30-odd plus partners, thank you so much, every one of you, for your participation today. And hopefully we'll be able to really scale up this initiative as time goes on. But thank you very much, and Manon, over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Alison, for concluding with these amazing remarks. Well, final words from me. Thank you all for sticking to, for your strong interest, first of all, in today's discussion and achievements, for your time. And we really hope that we'll be counting on your support or your engagements in the years to come. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions related to what we shared today. And wishing you all either a good day or a good evening. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thanks, Manon. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.